All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Velvet Voice Walker Stewart, Diamond Jim James Southard here to call the action tonight for Best of the West Wrestling's dark competition as Toxic Trent takes on none other than Hip Hop Harry in just his very third match throughout his entire career, James. I'm very excited to see some great things out of Toxic Trent today.
Two of Fresno's finest doing battle. Look at Toxic Trent here, off to a phenomenal start.
A phenomenal start indeed. He's on the offensive. Can he maintain this position after that wonderful arm drag? And now he's wrenching that in there, James. What's the strategy here if you're Hip Hop Harry?
If you're Hip Hop Harry, you've got to keep moving. You've got to keep flying. You've got to keep Toxic Trent on his feet. When you're a man like Hip Hop Harry, you've got a very unorthodox style, and you've got to use that to your advantage.
The stump man, of course. We've seen him utilize that unique offense to an advantage multiple times in the past. But Toxic Trent, I mean, this is not his first run-in with Hip Hop Harry in a professional wrestling ring. This man actually trained Toxic Trent part of the way through his professional wrestling training, that guidance. He's learned a lot of things out of Hip Hop Harry, including how to do that.
Indeed, he has a phenomenal trainer in a Central California legend here in Hip Hop Harry, masterfully applying that arm bar now, really twerking on the shoulder and the wrist of Toxic Trent.
You know, for Hip Hop Harry only having one leg, I have to admit, he's a very agility-based wrestler. There's a lot of stamina in this young competitor, or this experienced competitor. You love to see these sorts of things out of Hip Hop Harry, but Toxic Trent has made his way to the ropes. That hold has been broken up. We find ourselves at a little bit of a reset point here, James.
Both of these men taking the opportunity to catch their breath, but Hip Hop Harry right back on the attack.
Massive chop across the chest of Toxic Trent, and another one for good measure.
He might have one leg, but both of those hands are able to deliver chops.
Absolutely, and utilizing that stump right into the face of Toxic Trent. That is absolute brutality.
Stump man senton.
What a senton. Going for that cover hook in the outer leg. All two of them, and only a 2 count there.
Stuntman, 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 that boy up to something as he gets a headlock now on Toxic Trent.
And a Hip Hop Harry, he's got that side headlock applied here. As the leverage advantage, if you will, in this position. Toxic Trent kicking out at a count of 2 there, out of the side headlock. Hip Hop Harry is trying to get this crowd on this side here tonight for Best of the West Wrestling. And I, for one, am very excited to be here tonight. Oh, but he's going for the roll-up here on that one leg and only a 2 count. And a nasty clothesline, and Toxic Trent.
Leading into it was Hip Hop Harry using all that power.
That is absolute brutality. What is it going to take, though, for Hip Hop Harry to put Toxic Trent away here? Keep in mind, James, I mean, we're only a little under 4 minutes into this matchup, and we've seen a lot of new competitors coming to Best of the West Wrestling as of recent who cannot stand the test that is Hip Hop Harry.
It is the ultimate test. It's sort of a must be this tall to ride test if you want to stay here in Best of the West, because it truly is just that, the best, as you see just rotating around with the chops. Now some machine gun style chops from Hip Hop Harry.
Going for the cover here out of that snapmare, and only a 2 count, says our referee. And Hip Hop Harry, you're noticing he's starting to get a little bit frustrated here.
Thought this young man might be a little easier to knock off than he is. Kudos to Toxic Trent hanging on against the California legend here.
Yeah, but speaking of hanging on, Hip Hop Harry, he has some blows to deliver himself. Now Irish whip out of the corner. Oh no, up and over. He sends him. Hip Hop Harry, and Toxic Trent trying to capitalize off of this. Inside out. Going for that sunset flip, and sitting into the pinning attempt, and only a 2 count there, James.
Hip Hop Harry didn't have that leverage of an extra leg to be able to pull Toxic Trent down. Trent taking advantage of that.
I mean, just as much as there are some advantages to lacking that extra leg there, James, there are also some detriments, and that includes, you know, in the weight distribution, in a pinning mechanism, if you will.
And right now, he's unable to use those legs to grapevine around Trent, and possibly choke further life out of him and allow him to get over there to the ropes.
Seeing a lot of heart out of ToxicTrent here tonight. A lot of heart out of Hip Hop Harry. Well, only one of these men can walk out of here the best of the West in professional wrestling tonight. That veteran ring advantage that Hip Hop Harry has. What's the stuntman doing?
He's got something in mind here for Trent.
I can only imagine it's gonna spell disaster for ToxicTrent. No! And the cannonball senton is evaded.
ToxicTrent has seen that many times in training and knew to steer clear.
And a clothesline from ToxicTrent. He is feeling himself here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Spinning back elbow. This young star is on fire here. Look at that single leg drop kick. Did you see the precision on that, James?
Perhaps a bit of mockery on ToxicTrent's part, but he's got the stuntman reeling in the corner. What does Trent have in mind here?
And he is like a house of fire, back and forth. Hip Hop Harry is going to feel the brunt of all of this action. He's calling for it for a final time. This might be the kill shot.
Like a house on fire is ToxicTrent.
In the snapmare driver. And that's got to be it. And no, James, he kicked out.
A beautifully executed headlock driver there. You would have thought that Hip Hop Harry was done, but a calloused man, a veteran, an experienced, grizzled veteran, able to kick out of that move. He has seen worse before.
Well, it was smart of ToxicTrent to try and stay on top of Hip Hop Harry, but he gave him just too much time to breathe here, James. Lifted him up, though. What an innovative maneuver.
Nice amateur wrestling move there, slamming him flat and knocking the air out of Hip Hop Harry. What a win